Welcome back. Let's get away from the move on from that issue because it's a developing story. There's going to be a lot of commentary as far as the issue of what played out at the Senate is concerned. So in the coming days and coming weeks, perhaps it's just going to continue. But let's talk to our security consultant who joins us for the very first time here in Port Harcourt, Lagos studio. Ademola Adetuberu is a security consultant on the program, giving us tips always whenever we need him. Welcome to Lagos.
Thank you so much for having me physically.
We've talked to you from Ibadan, we've talked to you from Abuja. Now you decided to come, so thank you for coming through.
Thank you so much.
So today we're talking about young people, but perhaps you may want to piggyback on our previous conversation, which has to do for us. There are two things playing out here, but what is the big highlight is to be able to provide safe spaces for vulnerable persons like women who need all the protection. The Senate is a house of 109 persons, distinguished senators. Just four of them are women. So the odds are literally against them. So that is why this issue is a big issue. And it borders on a couple of other issues, sexual harassment, abuse of power to that effect. But if you can comment on that, but piggyback on that to the issue of how young people can protect themselves, because we heard other senators say, oh, don't even allow it in the first place, and all of this issue. Maybe just general comments before we get to the nitty-gritty of security.
Wow. Well, the matter at hand at the Senate, it's an interesting one, and it's something, we have few days to celebrating women, and this is
Women's Month, literally.
Literally. So it's unfortunate, but we do hope that we'll let the institution sort out themselves, and if it's in the court truly, we'll also let the court just take a stand on it.
Yeah, I see what you did there. So let's talk about tips. NYSC people going on their service to the nation, but maybe we'll broaden it to young people. When I saw NYSC and young people and university students protecting themselves, when we were in school, we had called boys, we had good boys, we had all sort of people.
Yeah.
So when you talk about protection for students, what are you talking about here?
Okay, so the first thing about protection, personal safety begins with awareness. Personal safety begins with awareness, preparedness, and smart decisions. Awareness, preparedness, and smart decisions. And if you happen to be a core member, or you will be a core member, or you are in any of our institutions, these are tips. I'll be talking about tips that you can arm yourself with. And the first I would say is know your environment. Know your environment. Know your environment by also understanding the do's and don'ts of your environment. The do's and don'ts of your environment. You also want to pay attention to their cultural sensitivity. You want to pay attention to their cultural sensitivity. It's part of security. It's part of security. And also you want to blend with the environment. Blend when it comes to what you wear. You want to blend with the environment. The second thing I will talk about.
What do you mean by blend with the environment?
Okay, so when you get to a new place, the first thing, you don't want for you not to look odd. You pay attention to what they wear. What do they naturally wear in that place? When you continue to wear what you are used to, not blending when it comes to attire, right? You'll be seeing, of course, immediately the odds are against you. You'll be seeing, oh, this person is new in this environment, and that is not good for you, because that immediately takes you out, and everybody knows that, oh, there's something about this person, it does not belong to this environment. So you want to blend positively, not negatively, with the environment. Understand the cultural sensitivity. The culture in that environment goes a long way.
Okay.
And also, you also want to know the do's and don'ts. The do's and don'ts. Try as much as possible. Wisdom is better for you to use at that point in time. The second thing I will talk about is emergency contact. You want to belong, if there are no neighborhood watch, for corpers, for students, you want to create one for yourself, where you can immediately put up something if you are going through a particular security issue. So apps, you also want to pay attention to apps. There are apps that people can subscribe to. They are actually paid for. That with a click, in case of abduction, in case of any form of threat, with a click, it immediately sends the location where you are to the people that are controlling the app, right? It sends location and immediately also turns on your camera where they can see you, right? And they can also hear conversations. So you want to, if you can, subscribe to such apps. The next thing you also want to do, you want to know the chief of that area. As a student serving somewhere, it's so important you go in groups.
Yeah, I wanted to point that out.
You have to go in groups, not just go alone. Right? You go in groups. Know the chief, of that environment. Lastly, on emergency contact, you also want to learn, if it is possible. It's not a place for you to learn defensive moves, defensive techniques, taekwondo, judo, boxing, in case you find yourself in such a threat circumstance. The next thing I will talk about is also avoid late night movement. Avoid late night movement, an environment where you are not used to, right? You don't want to be seen at odd hours of the day. And everybody knows most of the kidnaps that happens late in the night. So you want to avoid late night movement. I also talk about online safety awareness. Online safety awareness. First and foremost, every one of us have to pay attention. Turn off location on your devices. The moment you step, as I came into Lagos, right, if I had location on my app, on my devices, everyone that goes on social media can immediately tell that I'm in Lagos. So turn on, you want to pay attention to that. Turn off location on your devices. Then the next thing you want to do is, a lot of times, I don't understand, a lot of us get to post our itinerary on social media. It's not safety wise for us to continue to do that. I always tell people, don't post when you are in a location. It's okay to post after you have left, but giving people real-time update about you is not safety wise, because you can't tell.
Except maybe your spouse or your family members.
But I'm talking about posting even online. I'm talking about posting online.
Posting online.
Yeah, I'm talking about posting online. So it's not the best. It's not safety wise. When you get to a place, immediately you do a video. I'm at so place, and you are telling the entire world. You don't know those that will hate you. You don't know your competitors. You don't know those going after you. You are giving out a lot of information. It's actually better for us to be discreet. Be discreet. Try and be confidential. If you have to post after you've left.
What happens if you live in spaces that there's really little or no control for you? What I mean is, you live in the hood, or you were posted to the hood because you want to serve the country. What do you do? I mean, where there are notorious people who can take on anyone and anything at any time. Do you understand what I mean?
I do understand.
What do you do?
So
how do you measure up? How do you protect yourself?
How do you protect yourself? So when you live in such a place, such an environment, of course, first and foremost, safety awareness, situational awareness is key. Right, situational awareness, avoid late night. It's also good, be prepared. How do you get yourself prepared? Have equipment, safety equipment, tasers, body alarm, it could be tear gas, right? Have all of these equipment, arm yourself with all of these tools, just in case if there's anything that happens, right? Immediately you can diffuse such threats.
There's a lot to learn from you whenever we have you, but it's totally out of time. So I'm sure that the students out there and the people that are going for the NYSC, they've listened to you, and I hope, especially that part you said they should consult with the leadership, traditional leadership in the environment. Yes. It's quite important because they know themselves in that environment. Most thank you so much.
Thank you
for coming on the program, as always. Our security consultant who has been here time and again. But before you go,
yes,
since it's Women's Month, specifically, what do you have for women as far as this conversation is concerned when it comes to protection?
When it comes to protection, women should wear confidence. Women should wear confidence. Women should not be timid. Women should speak out. I think that's what I would say.
Okay. Ademola Adetuberu, the security consultant, thank you so much for coming all the way to Lagos. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.